On today's episode of Kult America, I am visiting the Soviet monuments of Warsaw. Behind me is a building formerly known as the Party House, and it once served as chair to the Communist Party Committee. Now, this building was literally built out of the rubble collected after the Second World War, rubble of destroyed buildings. And it became one of the most fortified places in the city. And because of its secrecy, many Warsaw citizens created urban legends, such as a secret train platform that would move party members throughout the city in secrecy, and also a corridor that would lead individuals from this building to the Palace of Culture and Science. And here we have the former building of the Planning Commission. It was here that architects laid out street plans and designs for the city of Warsaw. Now, this building is notable as a classic example and a strong example of social realist architecture. Surrounding me is what was once known as the Marszałkowska Housing District. This was an area for working class people built by the early communist regime. An interesting note, this area actually used to be inhabited by very wealthy people, but their property was destroyed during the Second World War, giving the authorities a really good opportunity to build up a place for the common man. So the authorities really enjoyed taking whatever opportunity they could to further their agenda. In the construction of this housing district, they also reduced the famous church known as the Holy Redeemer. So it was a good opportunity for them to both give opportunity to the common working class man and reduce religion inside of a communist country. I hear a lot of horror stories about communism, and especially coming from America, communism was always known as an ultimate evil. But when I look at a residential housing plan like this, and I see that they included all the amenities that a working class person could need, I can't help but see a little bit of fantasy inside of that vision. That being said, if I were a working class person living in such a society, I totally wouldn't be able to accept the moment that they took away my passport or arrested me for disagreeing. So it's kind of sad that something that indeed has a level of beauty could be so awfully bastardized. I'm standing in Konstytucji Square, and this is one of the largest examples of socialistic planning. 7 routes of traffic actually converge here. This was the main square for the Marszałkowska Housing District, and it was used to hold public gatherings, demonstrations, and concerts. What's peculiar about this place is that I read online, Plac Konstytucji was named to commemorate Stalinistic communism. And if that's true, I'm a little bit surprised that the name Plac Konstytucji remains to this day. So please tell me in the comment section below whether or not the name of this square, Plac Konstytucji, is indeed to commemorate Stalinistic communism. I am at the Soviet Military Cemetery. This monument is dedicated to approximately 20,000 Soviet soldiers who fell in their fight to liberate Poland from Nazi Germany. What I find peculiar is that indeed the plaque on this monument states that those soldiers fought liberating the city. Yet those same soldiers were the ones to initially attack the sovereignty of Poland as a country. It's interesting that in some people's eyes those soldiers could be conceived as monsters, while in others those soldiers are considered to be heroes. The Palace of Culture and Science was given to Poland by Stalin as a gift from the Soviet Union. This building has over 3,000 rooms. It's the tallest building in Warsaw to this date. And although it is certainly not without its critics, it is monumental, powerful, and iconic of Warsaw. I'm standing in Parade Square. This was the largest gathering space for political demonstrations during the communist regime here in Poland. After that, it was hosting many interesting events like masses by the Pope John Paul and a fan zone for Euro 2012. But today, it looks a little bit more like a parking lot than a place for festivities. The monument behind me was created as a gesture of gratitude to the Soviet People's Army for their liberation of Poland. And this monument remains a very controversial place indeed. Previously, it was sitting adjacent to a very main road. It's actually been moved back and out of sight a little bit. But that doesn't stop people from coming and voicing their contempt for Russia, for the Soviet Union, and for historic disagreements that these countries have experienced throughout time. There's been rumors of politicians wanting to actually destroy and remove this monument permanently. It seems like a quiet place, but it indeed has loud nationalistic ramifications by its sole existence. And my question for you, Polish people, do you see these monuments that I visited today as scars to your society? Or do you somehow see them as a reminiscent reminder of your past? And for those of you from countries that used to be inside of the Soviet Union, what are your feelings on these monuments? Write me in the comment section below. Subscribe to Kult America. And if you have any ideas for future shows, please contact me on Facebook and Twitter. Links are available in the annotations to the side.